Welcome guys to the fifth tutorial, and in the previous tutorial what we had done is we had successfully logged in our anonymous user. And one thing that I was facing an issue with, and it's the general issue when we come to work with navigation, is that once you are clicking the back button, it is not going to take you anywhere. So you have to add these two attributes: the ID of the destination fragment, the start destination fragment, and pop up to inclusive to. And after you add that, then if you press the back button, it happily exits. And if you don't have this, then it will not exit. So let's just go right into the app and move forward with our quiz app tutorial. That here we want to load the list of the quizzes. Okay, so what we need is that we need to work on the list fragment, but for this we need a view model, we need a Firebase repository, we need a model, and we need an adapter. So we will be working on that first. So let me create a folder and name it as model, and I will create another package, name it as MVVM, and we'll create another package and call it an adapter, my adapter. First of all, in the model we have to create a class quiz model that fetches the keys. So what we had is string. So first of all, with the help of Firestore, we will be fetching the quiz ID that was assigned in our Firebase console. This is the quiz ID. So, and these are the keys or the variables that we have to fetch. So we can name it as quiz ID, image, quiz name, visibility, level, and long question. So if I go to my Firebase console just to make sure the spelling, and yeah, lastly the description, the spellings have to be disk, image, level, question, quiz name, and visibility. So if these spellings do not match, then we will not be able to fetch the response. Let's create an empty constructor because it is the requirement of the Firebase. I'm writing a note here, and let's go to create our constructor and also generate alt insert. You can get this option on Windows. The getter setter methods are here. Okay, so we are done with model, and now we will go to MVVM and create a class and name it as Firebase repository, and we will create a view model. We can name this as quiz view model, and we will go to our adapter and name here as quiz adapter. We'll come here later. Let's go to Firebase repository. So what we'll do here is we will create an instance of Firestore, and we are going to use query class, and this is a subclass of query is also present in Firestore, so this is coming from there, and quiz reference and Firestore collection. What is the collection name? Quiz list. Make sure the spellings are correct, because let's say I'm writing this, but in Firebase it is capital L, so it will not fetch. You have to add exact same spellings. And now let's create a method that fetches data from the Firestore. So what we'll do here is public void get data from Firestore, quiz ref get add on complete listener. Okay, great. So what we'll do here is we need an interface, and here we will be adding void and data added, passing list, quiz model list, and void on error exception e. So let's initialize this first, and let's depend Firebase repository on yup, and also in onComplete if task is successful, then what do we want is Firestore data added, quiz data added, task get result, two objects, quiz model dot class, else Firestore data added on error, task dot get exception. And I believe that we are done with our Firebase repository. We'll be moving into our view model class, extends view model. So view model will help us. So first of all, we'll take a mutable live data list, pass in our quiz model, and we can say quiz model list data and initialize this list, and we'll create a method that fetches the live data, and we can name this as get live data from Firestore, and this returns the mutable data. And here we will get our repository. I can just name this Firebase repo, and this is here, new Firebase repository. And if we click this, then the methods that we had oh no, some mistake. Going back in here, we have to add this method. Let's create a constructor. Firebase Firestore. Yes, if we go in here and now we have to implement We are bringing these two methods in here, and now simply quiz model list data, the mutable data set value is going to be quiz model list data, and or error will remain empty. um, and lastly, we will, in the constructor of quiz view model, we will pass the method get data from Firestore. So our MVVM architecture seems to be ready, and now we will be working on the adapter real quick. And let's just go RecyclerView dot adapter my holder, and I can just name it quiz adapter dot my holder class my holder extend view model. Not view molder, view holder, sorry. And let's just create a constructor and also implement the methods in here. First and foremost, we'll take a list where we are passing our quiz model in here, quiz model list, and create a method set quiz model data list quiz model data, and add this quiz model list is equals to quiz model data. So now here, simple steps, I have done this so many times. Layer inflator from parent get context inflate r dot layout single start layout. Actually the name is wrong, but let's just go with it. You should just name it the list recycler view list template or something, but that does not matter. My holder view. Here we will be checking if quiz model list is null, return 0, because once the app loads the list is empty, and then it takes time to load the data via Firebase. So initially the list is empty, so if we do not do this null exception check, null pointer check, then it will be a problem. And then let's just get the size and return it. Here what we'll do is we will initialize our views. So if we go to our start layout, what do we have? We have an image view, we have text, we have description, we have a button, and we have level. So I'll just be closing all of this to clean it, and let's just go to quiz adapter and work on this. Text view, we have description, we have quiz title, we have level, we have an image view, and we have a button. Okay, so let's just initialize it real quick. Item view, find view by ID, list quiz description, quiz title, item view, find view by ID, list. If I'm not wrong, this is the ID for that list title text. I have given the wrong ID there, so it will crash later. And we have level, list level, and lastly we have an image view, list image, and also we have the button that takes us to the detailed activity. Yeah, take quiz button. Let me just verify it again if this is the ID. List, start layer list. Yeah, take quiz button is the right ID for this in here. Okay, so our views have been initialized, and let's create. So whenever that button is clicked on, we need something to happen, right? So we'll create a non-click method, and we need an interface here. This maybe will come outside, and here we'll create a method void on something clicked int position. Let's initialize this. This interface is here, and we'll be calling this interface item clicked something clicked get adopter position. So lastly, not the least, actually there is a lot in this also. We are depending this constructor that is taking this interface in yeah, and we'll come here now to, we have taken care of the click. How about this? So simple, holder dot quiz title set text, quiz model list dot get position, quiz name, holder dot description set text, quiz model list get position, get description, holder dot level set text, quiz model get position, get level, and we will use glide. Once I was setting up this project, I had added the glide library to load images. I will just load images. This is one of the best libraries where you can load images. And what we'll do is holder dot item view get context, Where are we loading the image from? Quiz model list, get position, get image. Placeholder is coming from placeholder in our drawable, and it has to be center crop, and we are loading it into holder.imageview. So I think we are pretty much done with our adapter, and we will be going back to our list fragment. And now, sorry guys, this tutorial has been a little bit long, and let's just clean it a little bit. So let's just take nav controller and RecyclerView, and we need some our adapter. And we need the progress bar also, and we need animations, fade in animations. We will be working on it in the very last tutorial, but for now, just to control the progress bar, I have to work with this for a little while. On view created, let's initialize our nav controller first. View, RecyclerView, view.find view by ID, RecyclerView, and fade in animation.utils, fade in, fade out. Also, we will be getting our adapter here, adapter, and new quiz adapter. And if you remember, quiz adapter is taking in the interface, and this will be controlled from this fragment. So we'll be bringing that method that takes in position. This helps us to send the, yeah, I'll explain you later. Okay, great. So this is done, and we will be taking our view model here, quiz view model, and going back out of this method on activity created. New view model provider, get quiz view model dot class, and here the more method get live data from Firestore, observe, get view life cycle or not. This wouldn't be necessary to add this line if there was no fragment, and you would just write this and comma instead of this. This you would just write this if this is an activity. Observer list, great. Now here what will happen is RecyclerView actually above RecyclerView set layout manager, new linear layout manager, get context, RecyclerView, set adapter, M adapter, RecyclerView set has fixed size, true, and let's just also get the progress bar. So for in our adapter there was a method set quiz model data. If you remember, if I go back, this is the method that takes in the quiz model data, and we will just add this from here, and this is done, and we will notify the adapter about the changes. RecyclerView set animation, fade in, RecyclerView, progress bar set animation, fade out. And if we run our app right now, let's see if it works. And one more thing we would be doing is that whenever, so now there comes the something clicked method. Let's see if our app works, and if it doesn't, it's okay, we will be fixing those errors. So yeah, our model was correct, and you see this is being loaded correctly, beautifully. So now the thing is, there are 2-3 quizzes, right? There can be numerous quizzes as much uh, pleases you that you can add in Firestore. But once one quiz is clicked, we want the detail of that quiz to be opened, right? So that is why we need to know the position, and that is why we had created this interface in our adapter. So what we will do is we will pass the position of whatever quiz that has been clicked on. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do in the next step. And in the very beginning of the project, I was telling you about passing arguments via during navigation. So that's what we will do here. We will come in our navigation graph, we'll go to from list to detail. We are passing a position, so we'll click on this details, and we'll add an argument position, and the type is number, and an integer, and initial position is 0. After this is done, let's just rebuild the project. So here is the thing, this might sound weird, because since we are sending the position from the list fragment to detail fragment, and we should be adding the position into this fragment in the list one, but once I did that, it wasn't generating the files for me. So for some weird reason, you have to pass the position on the receiving end, or you have to pass the argument on the receiving end of the fragment, not the sending end of the fragment. So that is why I have created argument in this one. If you go to list, it has no argument, and if you go to detail, it has an argument that is taking this detail fragment is taking an argument from the list. That is why we have passed a position here. So once we have rebuilt the project, it will generate few files in here in Java generated folder, and you see here detail fragment arguments, detail fragments directions. So let's go and in this method list fragments direction action sorry action action list fragment direction, and what we'll do here is nav controller navigate action and action dot set position. And what is this taking? A value from the method. So once we click, and let's see if our project runs successfully after this change. If I click on this, it is loading the next fragment. Right now obviously we cannot see data because we have to receive data in details fragment, but the click is working. So that's it for this tutorial, and we will be working on the details fragment in the next tutorial. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment or text me on Instagram, or you can download the whole code from the GitHub repository. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.